Welcome to 4.8, the Inquisitor. Now, as a reminder, this type is motivated by academia, law, or order with the intent to suppress knowledge, to control the masses, so everything aligns with their ideology. They don't practice what they preach. They simply enforce the system that benefits them. This type harms society by forcing laws, rules, and institutional standards as what's best while refusing to consider any other possibility. This is dangerous because once something is formalized into law or academic doctrine without the full picture, it can harm millions. In simple terms, this is the know-it-all who was taught intellect matters more than humanity. They were usually raised in homes where being smart was praised and emotions were dismissed as weak or messy. Authoritarian parenting can also create this type, which is why it overlaps with the zealot, except knowledge becomes a weapon, not a value. And what makes this type uniquely dangerous is the repression of knowledge itself. This is a type that erases history when it contradicts their narrative of what the truth should be. A strong case study for this type is Elizabeth Holmes. She grew up in a home built on privilege, ambition, and family legacy of past wealth and public service. She once said, "I grew up with these stories about greatness, people deciding to spend their lives on something purposeful." That narrative would have landed even harder for someone who is a splenic projector with the channel of struggle, a design that feels pressured to prove purpose and solve problems. And while the Holmes family fell on hard times after her father was laid off from his job at Enron, the shift reportedly pushed her to create her own financial security, a classic expression of Gates 44's drive to correct the past. Holmes also has an open will center, which means her sense of worth can become tied to external validation, achievement, or proving something to others. When she was sexually assaulted during her freshman year at Stanford, she dropped out and poured herself entirely into building her company. Without the structure of academic success, the pressure to succeed through achievement became the only pathway left to secure her identity. Astrologically, this is the shadow side of Aquarius. Holmes is an Aquarius sun. In its shadow, Aquarius becomes detached, hyper-rational, and fixated on systems and ideals over human impact. It turns knowledge into doctrine and innovation into dogma. This is a harder type to change because their mind is the defense system. Now, bibliotherapy can help, especially with emotional intelligence-focused material. Solution-focused-based therapy works for those driven by achievement, and hypnotherapy mixed with some somatic work can help bypass intellectual rigidity and reconnect them to the emotional response. So stay tuned and follow as I cover the ghoster coming up next.